Hello and welcome back to another episode of Project Oarai. Well, what do you all think? Do you like the new intro? Because I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it right now. I'm not sure if it's just a little bit too long at the moment. Would it be better if it was shorter? Or would you like to see more images maybe of stuff that we've built in the past? Or I honestly just don't know. I just figured that it might be cool at the start of the episode just to kind of show some stuff that we'd built in the past. Um, just because I thought it might be cool. So yeah, if you want to, just leave a comment in the comment box, just telling me what you guys think. Do you think it's too long and you'd like it to be shorter, show more stuff, or just show maybe like a heads up of kind of everything? I don't know. Just give me your thoughts and opinions if you want to. If you don't want to, it's totally cool. Okay, so let's move on to the episode, shall we? Because I'm really hyped right now. And the reason for this is I thought that it was gonna at least be 2 weeks. At least. Even though I said like 1 to 2, like you always think the worst. So I was thinking it's going to be like 2 weeks. 2 weeks before I can even get an episode out or possibly even a computer. But I was super lucky. The computer came 3 days early, so I really can't complain. It was working, nothing wrong with it, so that's a plus. And I got everything downloaded, got the game downloaded, tested the recording, and it worked buttery smooth. Absolutely no problems. So I'm glad to say that the crashing and all of the problems that I was dealing with before, like my Windows 10 moving to Windows 11 upgrade, had corrupted itself, and I had to re-download it and try and sort that. And I was hoping that that would fix my problems, and it kind of did in a way, but the problems came back, and it was on its last legs due to other problems that it had. And yeah. Anyways, less about that because it's all over with now. We're back on the right track. We've got the new computer, which is really good. It's working totally fine. There is a few changes to the game because when I re-downloaded my save, I'd forgotten what's I should have taken pictures. I'd forgotten what settings I used in game for my lighting, for my textures to make it look the way I do. And I basically just had to redo it all again. And I did come across a problem that was I just couldn't get the colors to match what I needed and what was already there in the world for the roads and the plottable stuff that I'd put down already. I just couldn't get it to match properly to the images that I'd had from YouTube in previous episodes. So basically, you might have noticed from the intro that the rice fields were like more of a greeny color now. What I've had to do to try and make up for the color changes is I've had to darken the roads manually with the painter, and I've had to go all over the map, and I've had to peer all of the custom plottables that I'd put down and change to the same color as the road. So I had to redo all of them all over the map, as well as I came across a problem where it had set all my decals to surface level. I have no idea why or if there was an easy fix to it. So I basically had to go through the entire map redoing all the decals that I'd put down since the very first episode. So if you notice some areas might look a little bit different or might be missing some, that's my bad. I've probably missed them. Don't even know they're there. They're probably, yeah, I might have deleted them or put them too far down, or I don't know. Let's just say it was super tedious to go around and do all the previous zones. And Not to mention, but I thought it was a very good time since I was re-downloading my save, and I'm not too sure how mods work personally. I'm not too clued up on how they fully operate, but before this, I was using a mod called Node Controller Renewal 3.3.3. And I'd basically been using this node controller since the very first episode of Project Oarai. And it worked totally fine for me, worked really well. There was just a few features that I wish it had that I wish it had that it didn't. And I'd seen some of the other City Skylines content creators that I love to watch their videos, and I'd seen that they were using a node controller called Node Controller V2.11 Stable. And it allows you to drag corners, stretch nodes, and do all this other fancy stuff that I just couldn't do with my one. So I had the idea of, I know that there's a warning about changing node controllers on a map that you've already edited once on, but I figured because I was re-downloading the save and it technically hadn't ever been opened, so it hadn't made the nodes, if this kind of makes sense. This is what I was going off in my head. I was like, okay, the game's never been loaded because it's just a save. It's never it's never physically been opened because I uploaded my save to the workshop and then re-download it that way when I get a new computer. And because it had technically not been opened on the new computer, I should be safe swapping the node controller out without it breaking my save like I'd seen that it can do. And it can cause crazy problems on the map. So I swapped it out, loaded my save, and it was totally working. The only thing that I had to do was I had to re-go and edit all my nodes that I'd stretched and changed how they looked and where they went. I just had to redo that again. You know, it's not a lot of hard work. You know, it's not like I had to redo all the decal heights, the color of the map, the color of the roads, the color of the plottables. You know, it's not like loads of stuff had to be redone again. So I figured, yeah, why not? We'll just add it to the list, really. But no, I'm really not complaining. I'm just looking at the save works, so I'm really not complaining in the slightest. Now, now that all that's been said, I do want to talk about the episode. I think we're like what we're about 8.5 minutes into me actually speaking before we get onto the episode. I'm so sorry. I just needed a little rant. Um, so this episode is super rushed, and I'm sorry because it's not my best editing. I'll be honest. I was just super hyped to get something recorded. I've had 2 days to be able to try and sit down, do all these changes, fix the map, and get in and actually record something. And I felt super rushed to do it, but I wanted to do it, so it's my own fault for it. But I wanted to get some out by this Saturday, so this is the best of what I could get out with the time frame that I had. So, like what I said, I'm sorry it's a little bit all over the place. It's not my best editing, like I said, but I wanted to get some out regardless because I was hyped about how lucky I was getting the regalia and all this other stuff. So, what I wanted to work on first is the seafront, and I think it's turning out really well because, as you know, I normally like to work on a flat surface and kind of just leave it at that. I'm still trying to learn how to get good with different heights because I see that there's some content creators out there and they're just fun. They're just incredible at the way that they can work with different heights and mold it together and just make it look incredible. I wish I was at that level of working with different heights, but we'll get there, right? Surely we'll get there, yeah. So yeah, this is a little bit of me trying to work with them heights now, a little bit, just little baby steps. But yeah, I wanted to put loads of detailing in, so we've got a nice little seafront that we're going to be working on with this episode, and then we work on a little bit of the main road after we're done with the seafront. I haven't worked on anything higher than the middle block, and the reason why I haven't is because it was just too much to put in the episode and the time frame that I had. because I needed to obviously get this out by Saturday. And what I'm thinking, because I've been looking at Google Earth, but I haven't added it in this episode. I'm going to add it in the next one. I'm going to go over the seafront and kind of my ideas and my thought process for what I want to do, because the seafront goes on really far, and there's going to be a lot of custom buildings and PO work that needs to be done. So I want to fill out these blocks, if you will, of stuff that can be made kind of easy. And I want to dedicate like full episodes to the custom buildings that I'm gonna have to PO and put together, and then the environment around them. I want to give them their very own episode, if I can, or merge them together or something. I'm not too sure. I'm going to try and go over this more in my next episode when I've got more time to sit down and think and reflect on kind of where I want to go with this. But yeah, the seafront's super long, so I just cut out a little section of it that I knew that I could be able to sit down and build in the 2 days that I had. So yeah, I'm sorry it's a bit rushed, but I do hope you enjoy it. And before I do go, I just want to thank everyone in my last video for all the super positive vibes in the last comment section. Everyone was super nice and friendly and said some really nice things. And it's really nice to read, because I said at the beginning of this I was kind of making this YouTube just to document City Skylines builds that I want to build, and it's nice to look back on them. But it's kind of evolved from that. I now just kind of enjoy making the videos and showing them to you guys. So yeah. I just want to thank you all for commenting, liking, and just doing all that great stuff. Really, it really helps. So, anyways, less about that mushy stuff. Yeah, I just want to thank you all. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And like always, I'll see you all in the next one.